Hi everyone, welcome back to DIY Geardo. Today we will show you how to replace the display screen on the Samsung Galaxy S23 5G mobile phone. Please check the description for the repair tools, protective gear and compatible parts. First, turn off the phone, remove the SIM tray and begin the back cover removal process. To remove the back cover, gently heat the edges to soften the adhesive. For this, we are using a heating pad. Place the back cover side on the heating pad and select the mobile phone heating option. Leave it till the process completes. Alternatively, you can use a heat gun or hair dryer to warm the edges. Be careful not to overheat, as this can damage internal components of the back cover. Next, use a suction cup to create a small gap along the edge of the back cover. The ideal place to use the suction cup is at the bottom of the cover. Gently lift the cover using a suction cup and carefully insert a plastic car pry tool into the gap and slide it around the edges to cut the adhesive. This process will take time and be gentle with the internal parts. Always use the tip of the tool to free the adhesive. Once the adhesive is free, gently lift and remove the back cover from the body. Next, disconnect the wireless charging pad connector. Next, remove the 6 screws securing the wireless charging pad. Gently lift the pad from the frame. Please note that the bottom of the pad is attached with adhesive, so carefully pry it loose to avoid damage. Next, disconnect the battery connector from the logic board. For this repair, remove the parts from the broken screen frame and transfer them to the new screen frame. First, remove the loudspeaker cover by undoing the 7 screws. Next, verify the SIM tray is out. Next, remove the charging port board along with the main flex cable and the antenna cable. First, remove the 3 screws securing the charging port board and then disconnect the main flex cable and antenna connector from the logic board. Next, disconnect the display connector from the logic board and the display screen and gently remove it from the body. And then disconnect the 5G antenna connector and remove the 2 screws securing the antenna module. And then lift it out of the frame. Next, remove the battery from the body. Next, move to the top of the device and remove the 5 screws securing the AP speaker bracket. And then disconnect the connector and remove the bracket. Next, disconnect the upper antenna connector and remove the antenna module from the frame. Next, remove the 2 screws securing the cameras. And then carefully lift the logic board along with the rear cameras out of the frame. Finally, remove the power and volume button flex from the frame. And now all the required parts have been removed from the damaged screen frame and are ready to be transferred to the new screen frame. When choosing a replacement screen, you'll find several options. The most reliable is an original service pack display which comes with the frame and installed components. You can also use a screen without the frame, but installation is more complex and time consuming with lower durability. Refurbished, used, and aftermarket screens are also available with or without the frame. For a durable repair, it's best to choose a screen with the frame and install components. Next, begin reinstalling the removed parts onto the new display frame. First, align the power and volume button flex with the side of the frame and press it firmly into place. Make sure the flex follows the correct routing path. Next, carefully place the logic board into the frame. Ensure the front camera is seated correctly in its opening. Then secure the camera area with the 2 screws. Next, install the up antenna module and reconnect its connector to the logic board. Next, align the AP speaker bracket with the frame. Reconnect the sensor connector and secure the bracket with the 5 screws. Next, install the battery to the frame. Next, install the bottom 5G antenna module. Secure it with the 2 screws and reconnect its connector to the logic board. Next, connect the display flex cable to the display and the logic board. Next, place the charging port board on the frame and then reconnect the main flex cable and antenna cable to the logic board. Also, make sure the charging port board connectors are securely connected. Next, secure the charging port board with the 3 screws. Next, insert the SIM tray. Finally, reinstall the speaker cover and secure it with the 7 screws. Next, connect the battery plug to the logic board and then place the wireless charging pad into the frame. Connect the connector and secure it by adding 6 screws. Next, turn on the device and test all functions to ensure everything is working properly. Before installing the rear cover, replace the adhesive. Apply new pre-cut back cover adhesive or use B7000 glue. Finally, place the rear cover back onto the device and press it down gently. For a better seal, use back cover bonding clips to hold it in place while the adhesive dries. You can remove the clips after some time. Hope you have enjoyed the repair guide. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe for more repair guides.